are new clues that there could be charges related to the probe into former DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz's former IT staffer Imran Awan. Prosecutors have reportedly given Awan a copy of the hard drive of the House laptop that Wasserman Schultz tried to keep law enforcement from looking at, a hint that Awan could now face cybersecurity charges in addition to bank fraud. Joining us right now to talk more about that is Michelle Malkin, the host of Michelle Malkin Investigates on CRTV.com. Michelle, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Maria.
You know, we've been talking about this scandal now for a long time, and of course, Daily Caller has done a very good job on this. Is this scandal about to get blown wide open in your view? What do you think?
It sure is, because all signs point to some very shady behavior by Debbie Wasserman Schultz in all of this. And particularly, I mean, even before the latest story that Luke Rosiak, who, as you mentioned, has just done terrific work for the Daily Caller on this story. But even before this came up, with this convoluted story of the purloined laptop showing up mysteriously in a place where it could be found, all very strange. But Debbie Wasserman Schultz's behavior even previous to this, the blow-up with the Capitol Police over the laptop. And then even before that, of course, her clinging to Awan and her curious defense of him, and the curious silence on the part of so many of the House Democrats who had employed Imran Awan, his wife, Hina Alvi, and several others in that inner circle in that family. Was there more going on here in terms of possible theft, not just of the equipment, but of intelligence? We don't know, but I think the more you scratch at this story, the worse it smells.
Yeah, Michelle, I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head. I mean, we know he was, the bank fraud was the craziest part, where he was trying to take out loans and send it over seas, as well as his wife has left. I mean, they finally got him at the airport. But what kind of charges could she face, and what are those implications? Like, are we talking federal offenses? What are they looking at? I mean, we've got everything from the Capitol Police now, and now we've got finally some more investigations going into this, but what could actually come of this to her?
Well, you know, it has the arc of obstruction on her part, with hiding that laptop at her house and trying to block the access to it. There's a larger, I just want to pull back the lens a little bit here, because there's a larger immigration policy issue as well. When this first story started bubbling up, my immediate question was, how did this family get here? And of course, we know now that Imran Awan was trying to flee the country, essentially, and join his wife, who had up and left as the scandal was brewing with her 3 children.
Yeah.
And I had asked several of these House Democratic offices, including Joaquin Castro in Texas, Greg Meeks, and several others who had employed members of the Awan family, well, what was their immigration status? Did they come here on H-1Bs? And this is something I've done a lot of reporting on for CRTV and in my columns in my books. The national security implications of having people who are unvetted, essentially, as H-1B tech workers with access to highly sensitive information. If they didn't come here on H-1B, what immigration program did they come on, and who sponsored them? And in fact, Chuck Grassley sent a letter to DHS a couple of months ago asking these exact questions, and we still don't have answers. These people are government taxpayer-funded employees. We deserve to know their immigration status and that whole backstory. It's very important.
There's a lot of things that we deserve to know, and we haven't. I would point your attention to an op-ed from Kim Strassel today in the Journal about the FBI. And Comey's secret power is what Kim Strassel titled this in the op-ed in the Journal today. It's basically talking about how Jim Comey was the judge, the jury, and the executor on Hillary Clinton and that investigation. They withheld, they ignored total requests for information, and now the new development this week, according to Kim Strassel, is this look at how Mr. Comey may have similarly juked the probe of Donald Trump's purported ties to Russia. What's your take on this op-ed this morning?
Yeah, she makes a very good point, and this is the problem when President Trump, confidently declared that he was going to drain the swamp. It's incredibly hard to do that when these people in the swamp cannot police themselves properly in these kinds of corruption scandals. And Kimberly Strassel is asking all the right questions and shining light at all the right cockroaches. But then this begs the question, well, what do you do about it? You know, it's not just the deep state, it's not just the liberal media enablers and the anti-Trump resistance, unfortunately, in the establishment of both parties that Donald Trump has to fight. But, you know, the very people who are supposed to be entrusted with cleaning up this kind of corruption are part of the problem themselves.
Yeah, for sure. Michelle, real quick, what do you think about Steve Bannon trashing everybody now and saying Gary Cohn should have stepped down?
Well, I agree with him on that particular matter. You're absolutely right. I mean, when people in your own administration are engaging in what is essentially ideological fragging, and throwing the president under the bus that is employing you, I agree with him. I mean, it's bad enough that you've got the entire Democratic Party that is always attacking Republicans as
and yet he did a deal
inveterate
with them.
racists.
Yep.
That's what this was about. It was about defending against the race card.
Yep, and yet he did a deal with them on the debt ceiling yesterday, Michelle.
I know he did.
Yeah.
I hate Washington. I hate all the ban all crap weasels.
Oh, boy. Michelle, we love getting you fired up. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks, Maria.
We'll see you soon. Michelle Malkin joining us there.